Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to another episode of Painting Happy Little Minis. Today, I'm joined by Jeff Hall,
Hello.
who has been a semi-regular guest now.
Yes.
Very cool.
It's nice to be here again.
So yeah, Jeff, as it says down there, games and stuff.
Yes.
That's the name of the store that Jeff works at.
Yep.
What does it say for me? At Dave Taylor Miniatures. Sweet. I never pay attention to that.
Right.
It's ridiculous. So we've got Jeff in today. Rick is off at San Diego Comic-Con. Apparently the weather's really nice out there at the moment.
I did Comic-Con 2003, my one and only trip, and it was bonkers then. Now I can't even imagine.
It'd be insanely bonkers.
What it is.
So many lines. I'm actually quite glad that I'm not there.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I can say that. But so yeah, Johnny and Rick are out there. Leona is on the switcher today, which means that I also have the laptop right here. You see some of the buttons in the side of the thing. So I'm going to try and get this to bring up the video so I can keep an eye on the chat too. So there's going to be lots of fun craziness going on. Oh, there we go. Now I can see me scrolling in the chat. No, maybe. I don't know.
I can fix it for you.
Oh, here we go. Oh. Hey, Nick. Hey, Craig. Hey, Carl. Oh, Craig says he wants the mini on the turntable. So this is kind of a crazy one. So if we can cut to the turntable. So this is a mini that I finished off painting last night. This is from 40K. This is Mortarion. The
Demon Prince of the Death Guard, huh?
Yeah, Demon Prince of the Death Guard, Demon Prince of Nurgle. An absolutely insane miniature. So that's what that one's all about. He's pretty crazy, but this is the final model in an ongoing sort of commission that I've been working on. So
It will be on the tables at games and stuff quite regularly since the owner plays there all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
for sure. Brian,
come and fight it.
He's going to be doing that. So yeah, I would not look forward to doing another one too soon.
Right.
But I always like to bring in the big crazy miniatures that I get to paint. So, but we'll take this out of the way now, and I will put up some other bits and pieces. Oh,
Today we're painting miniatures from CMON Song of Ice and Fire.
woohoo!
I'll be working on Lannisters, and Dave has the Starks.
Yep, I'm going to try and finish off another 2 Stark Sworn Swords.
Cool. Cool.
But next week, I thought I'd bring a preview of next week.
Oh, cool.
Well, actually, no, first, we talked about some of the other crazy things that we were going to have in, or that were in the Kickstarter pledge, so I'm going to put that on the rotator and see if it spins. So there it is. That's the
Iron Throne itself.
in miniature form.
Which some of you were like, that doesn't look like that on the show. But in the novels, the Iron Throne is this massive edifice that is built of all these swords and
Thousands of
things.
swords.
So it's quite different than the way they portray it in the show.
Yeah.
And bloody.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is also blood-soaked and things of all the swords.
There's a lot of sharp edges there. So real health and safety nightmare.
Yeah, OSHA would not be happy in Westeros.
I don't think so. So that is part of it. Let me show you a couple of other things. So we had a look at the sort of the pale blue-gray that were the Stark miniatures, the red for the Lannister miniatures. There are a series of brown, or miniatures in brown, that are basically the mercenary faction. When I say mercenary faction, they can be used by any of the others. Some of them are cell swords, like Bronn himself. So this is Bronn. And some of them are turncoats, I guess.
Sure.
Where you're like, so this is an alternate, well, I'm going to point at the one at the back that's going to come around in a second. Or even actually Brienne of Tarth there as well, changes her allegiance
Sure.
a few times during the series. And this is an alternate sculpt for Ramsay Bolton, who would definitely, looks like he would flay you alive as soon as look at you.
And then this guy right here, pointing wrong one, coming around here, is the Kickstarter exclusive George R. Martin in miniature form.
Yep.
And is he portrayed as a maester in the game? Or just a...
No, I think basically he's a. It was a fun
Just a
sort of Kickstarter,
right.
Kickstarter mini is not actually going to have a particular role in the game,
Right.
Except for if you have him, you can and you win, you get to tell the tale yourself.
Right. But yeah,
But
great figures. They did an awesome job on the sculpting, and I think it's going to be very exciting. And I will make my plug now that Games and Stuff will have the full Kickstarter edition of this game in store very soon, as soon as it arrives, and you'll be able to pick up the entire Kickstarter bundles with all these cool Kickstarter exclusives in store. So be sure if you're looking to get one, come out and order yours today.
Check it out. We're going to go on to the last ones here. Rick was talking about, actually I'm going to put it there so we can ride forward. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Has to change the camera. We're going, doing the big ones now. But Rick was talking on Tuesday about how at the CMON Expo he painted up a Gregor Clegane, the mountain. So next week I'm going to give him one of my mountains to paint. I say give him one. Oh my goodness.
He's so big.
He's so huge.
There we go.
So yeah, this is him, the mounted version of him. And to give you an idea, that's Bronn.
All right.
Next to him, about to be completely dwarfed. So he's going to be pretty brutal in the game. I'll just take that off. No need to change it for this one because we've got two there. So here we have Gregor Clegane. This is the one that comes in the starter set.
Okay, sure.
So the Lannister versus Starks box set. In his armor with his cool shield. And then the other one is the Kickstarter exclusive alternate sculpt for Gregor Clegane.
The helmet off, and
you
can see his imposing features.
Yeah. So, and he doesn't have the pauldron are a little bit different. So, but it's still a very cool looking miniature. And something I went through and did earlier is check the swords on all three, all identical. So it's very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, okay. So that's all the things we got to show. Sort of some of the new things from Tuesday. It was only 2 days ago. Yeah, so we'll jump into
some painting.
I'll have a quick look at the chat. Emerald Dragon Games asked, do the sets come with a base coat? Actually, no, they're all sets come in colored plastic. So red for the Lannister, brown for the mercenary faction, or mercenaries, essentially. So at the moment, most of the units are Bolton units. So they're brown, and the Stark are the pale blue-gray kind of look. Tim Colonna says the mountain is too much for Jeff Hall.
Oh, Tim.
Hey, Tim. Timothy Fennell says, what do we have here? We have models from A Song of Ice and Fire, which is the new miniatures game from Cool Mini or Not. That's the cover. So if you see that in your local store coming soon, that's the thing to look for.
So the official street date is August 31st, but again, shops that have pledged the Kickstarter will have that sooner.
A little bit earlier.
Yeah, the street date for for everyone who didn't do the Kickstarter will be August 31st.
Okay, excellent. And one of the things that questions that somebody asked on Tuesday that we didn't have the answer for, do you know how much that box set is going to be, the starter set?
Don't know the retail, if it's 100 or so, but the Kickstarter edition is around 150. So I imagine the base game is probably in that $80 to $100 range, like a lot of the big CMON kind of starter games.
It's a huge box set. It's over 100 miniatures in there.
It could be a little bit more than that, but I don't know off the top of my head. I just know the Kickstarter edition is 150. So.
Okay. So it could be in the 100 to 120 range.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
But if people are expecting that, that'd be cool. Elizabeth Beckley Bradford. Hey, Liz. How you doing? Says hi. And Don Slater says hi.
Hey, Don.
So, cool. We're going to jump in and continue on our minis. This is the one of the Stark guys that I was working on Tuesday. So there we go. He's actually mostly done. Believe it or not, I just need to get the face painted and highlight some of the silver. And we're looking pretty good.
I'm laying down some golds, and then I'm going to go back over with the reds, you know, in spots, kind of to do that lower lacquered look to the armor.
Cool.
Just
What wash are you using there?
Reikland Flesh Shade.
Okay.
So, because it has that little bit of orangey tint to it, so
Right.
it adds a really nice look to the gold over a Retributor gold.
Excellent. And do you mainly use GW paints?
I actually have so many paints at home, it's ridiculous. It's a mix between GW and P3 and Foundry paints.
Okay.
I even have a lot of Foundry paints. I actually don't use a lot of Vallejos because
Right.
I'm not huge on the dropper. I like to kind of paint out of the pot.
Okay, good, yeah.
So, but I've been
That's cool.
experimenting with some of the Scale 75 paints a little bit.
And they're dropper bottles.
Yeah,
right?
and
Okay.
they're neat. They're just, it's a different consistency. It's a little learning curve there
Yeah,
because they're really matte, very flat finish to them
Right.
and stuff.
that's what I've heard. Do you have those in the store, or are you just
We
sort of
do
testing
not.
them out?
I tested them out. I bought some from that competition minis.
Okay,
Folks.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's another great store in here in Baltimore.
I've never actually been to the store. I've just done
Okay.
their mail order
Online?
but I want to stop by because I hear they have lots of cool busts and things for the higher end painting
Yeah,
collectors and models and things.
yeah, they've got pretty much, if it's a brand of paints for miniature painting or for sort of scale painting, they've got them. So definitely cool to see that. So you're trying those sort of things out. Oh, I've got them painted the wrong part blue. I'll fix that up. But there we go. How are we going? Oh, Emerald Dragon Games says, to come back on that charity that you were doing earlier, I would like to go ahead and send the Kraken from Grief Miniatures to you guys through the mail for your charity. Would you prefer us to paint it, or do you want to do it yourselves? Well, actually, if you're able to paint it, that would be absolutely fantastic. Emerald Dragon Games will, as well as having the, we were talking about the Nova Open Charitable Foundation stuff. At the moment, we have the summer raffles running. We've got 22 different raffles, all sorts of cool things. We've got 30K armies, we've got 40K armies, we've got Star Wars Legion starter sets, we've got Star Wars X-Wing repaint, we've got a Hordes Trollkin army.
Very nice. I saw the you have a World Eaters army.
We have World Eaters Army for Horus Heresy, yeah. And we've got a lot of single miniatures as well that we're raffling, but also at the Nova Open we have the silent auction. So I think this would be a perfect thing if you're able to send that in, Emerald Dragon Games. I will message you after the show and we'll work out sort of how we can do that. Very cool. Oh, and Stu Theobald Vella says, hi. Hey, Stu. Are you in the UK at the moment, or are you traveling for work? But there we go. That gold's looking really good.
I've thinned down my red mix a little too much. It'll be good over the gold, but for the lower parts of the cloak, it might be a little too. I like,
too thin.
as a base, I'd like to do a mix of Mephiston red with Rhinoxide.
Oh, okay.
So it gives
Fair
it kind of a reddish brown, like a good
Yeah.
base, deeper base coat.
enough. Right.
But add a little mixing medium in there, and may have added a little bit much.
A bit too much.
So
Yeah.
take a few extra coats.
Oh. Grab this guy. There we go.
Looks good.
Yeah. Looking neat there. So with your, when you get your set, who do you think you'll be working on first? Which faction?
I think I really like the Lannister models,
Right.
so I think I'll probably dive into those first.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to paint Gregor Clegane and all.
Clegane.
Those look really great.
Yeah. I should have guessed that with the red shirt and the blonde hair.
I have a soft spot for Jaime Lannister. He's misunderstood.
It is funny how, now towards the end, it's like, you do think he is that sort of misunderstood character. Is it because he's evolved? Has he evolved, do you think?
I think he's evolved. Well, at least in the show.
Right.
In the book,
I'm still waiting on that, so.
yeah, could be, people might have a different opinion, but from the television show perspective, I think he's evolved well.
Yeah. That's cool.
I mean, do we have to give spoiler warnings if someone would be like, I didn't watch the show, even though it's been like a year since it last aired an episode?
It has been a year. That's terrible. Terrible. I mean, we can give them if you'd like.
Should we make sure we don't talk about something that might anger someone?
No, that's okay. This is a bit of time's gone by now.
Right. Because I think, the way he ends the last season of the television show, where he's very angry at what Cersei has done,
Yeah.
not recognizing the threat to the White Walkers and, with things happening in the north.
Yeah.
What do we see him setting out kind of on his own to potentially honor the vows that he made versus everyone else?
Yeah. I think he has become a more sympathetic character for sure. But there we go. Okay, well, Jan is on, and he says, "Hey, I know those guys. Hey, we
know you too."
So that's our friend Jan. Don Slater says, "Getting excited for my first Gen Con. Do you guys have plans for Indianapolis?"
I am not going this year. I went last year.
You go like every other year.
I kind of go every other year. It's a little more affordable.
Yep.
But I am sad that I will not be there this year because it's always a great time.
Yep. I'll be heading out there. This will be my 5th Gen Con, I think. So since I started my business, I've gone every year. So should be exciting. I'm going to be spending apparently spending the mornings roaming the vendor hall with Rick and Johnny and a camera. And we'll be doing, well, I think Johnny will have the camera, I hope. But we'll be...
Hold the camera. I said, you just hold the camera.
All right, just hold it up like that. Yeah! I'm sure at some stage Johnny will want to go to the bathroom and he'll say, "Here, Dave, hold this." But yeah, we'll be doing interviews around the vendor hall. I think Rick is going to talk to everybody who is sort of selling board games and card games and role-playing games.
Excellent. Yeah.
And I'll be talking to the folks who are doing miniature games.
Very cool.
So I think that'll be quite neat. But yeah, Don, we should work out a time to meet up. See what's going on, because apparently my afternoons are free. Haven't planned anything. I might see if there's any Dark Age stuff going on and play some Dark Age in the afternoons or evenings. Yeah. The funny thing is, I couldn't even tell you what I'm excited about looking at. Gen
We were
Con.
just discussing that the other day at the shop about, every year, obviously, it's when all the cool new stuff is unveiled and teased, and we were speculating as to what might be new. And,
Yeah.
last year was Star Wars Legion was a big thing
Right.
they unveiled there, so
Yeah.
that was a exciting new product. We'll see what
Fantasy
what
Flight
might
do?
shows, what might be pulled out this year.
Yeah.
We're all very excited because Paul, the owner at the shop, is unveiling his role-playing game Overlight. Goes on sale at Gen Con.
Oh, cool.
So
That's
from
good.
Renegade Games, so that'll be a big deal.
Yeah. So did Paul and George come up for I think they came up for a playthrough of...
Yep, they
Overlight.
did a playthrough of Overlight and some other stuff recently. They were here last week too for Before They Were Stars with Matt Fantastic and some of those guys.
Cool.
So
Should all be good. But yeah, I think I'm just going to be wandering and
Most of my
Hearing
Gen
a lot.
Con is wandering.
Wandering,
Just
yeah.
looking at cool stuff, enjoying a relaxing evening with friends, out to dinner and some drinks, and
Yep.
doing it all again the next day.
Yep.
I don't feel that I game a lot at Gen Con.
Right.
I mean, for the shop, it's a lot of scouting and what's coming out and talking to publishers. And
Yep.
Dave and I, we know so many people
Right.
in the industry. You can't walk 5 feet without, oh, we got to stop and talk to you. And
Check out those guys. Yep. That'll be good. I'm looking forward to talking to Lynn Stahl of Metalhead Minis, because she's running all of the, organizing all of the hobby activities,
Okay.
all the miniature hobby
Sure.
activities. So that'll be cool to see. I know that she spent a lot of time last week prepping all of the paint and take.
very nice.
Minis.
Yes, that's always very popular.
Yeah.
Did notice this year a lot of the painting activities, the painting contests and things, kind of wrap up a little earlier than normal. Like they're on
Oh, okay.
Friday. You know, they
All
kind
right.
of.
Okay. I didn't see that.
If you are interested in participating in some of those things, keep an eye on the schedule.
Get in
You're
early,
thinking
yeah.
like, oh, this I have till Saturday. Not necessarily. I noticed some of them definitely ended a little bit earlier this year.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. I should see the P3 Grandmaster
Yep.
painting competition as well. That would be cool. Always some really nice stuff there. And that's done in the vendor hall at the P3 booth.
Right.
Or the Privateer Press booth.
Whereas the other stuff is usually upstairs in the hobby
Yep. In that
area where the
front
paint
corner
takes
kind of thing.
and things are.
Yeah. That'd be good. Drew from One Inch Heroes says, "What up, Jeff? You're still not my dad." There was a little bit of an online tussle over who would actually be painting today.
Yes.
Drew was sort of asked me a few times. He said, "Is Jeff still coming? Is Jeff still going to be there?"
And I told, like, stop trying to steal my thunder.
We could have had all three.
That's true. That's true.
We'll share next time, Drew. We'll all come together.
Yep. We've got to do another speed painting competition soon.
Right.
Maybe we can do something for Kill Team. when
There
that
you
comes
go.
out. I think that would be neat.
Yeah, these are very nice models.
Yeah. Or perhaps when the Night's Watch come out for this game, we could do a see how many you can paint in an hour.
I've already lost.
Right. Just be prime them all black, dry brush gray. A little bit of brown here and there, and you're good to go. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, these are coming on. The gold worked out well with
Yeah.
the wash.
And it's going to be layering up the red.
Yep.
Cool.
Build that up a couple different layers there. I have a very strange gold or red recipe that I like that I think gives good results, but it uses some
Unconventional.
unconventional colors, primarily some cheap craft store hobby grids.
Oh,
But there's
right.
there's just certain reds that work really well. When you find that pattern, you're like, this works great.
Right. Right. You talking about the apple barrel?
I like the Delta line.
Oh, Delta.
Because they have a
Delta cream
thin,
coat.
like a thin, almost washy level color that I can use, and just some interesting looks to the red.
Okay. We've had that sort of conversation before about using craft paint.
Well,
That's what I
people
think.
tend to immediately dismiss things, but it's just another tool. If you figure out a way to use it,
Yeah.
I know people who've won Golden Demons with painting nothing but dollar
Yep.
craft paints and things. It's about the painter, not the paint so much.
Right.
My old college roommate, who's won many, many Golden Demons, swore by nothing but craft paint.
Excellent. Who's that?
Brett DeWald.
All right. That's right.
He's gotten out of painting miniatures for a while. I think he's finally getting back into it. I've seen some stuff he's posted on Facebook, but when we were in college, he was quite prolific and At the
Right.
time, he had the most golden demons
All right.
because he was upwards of 20 or something.
Oh, wow.
He was a regular back in the late 90s, early 2000s in White Dwarf and all.
Yep. Excellent.
Color, have you seen anything on the, is that ribbing or is that like more leather straps and things, do you think?
I think that's probably ribbing on the backplate. Yeah.
Because it kind of does attach to the bottom, so that's why I wasn't sure if they were some sort of, ties or straps or whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd be tempted to do that bottom line as a belt,
Right.
but I think the other two I'd keep as ribbing.
Mm-hmm. I think the same with the puffy sleeves, kind of
Right.
into some reds and things there.
Yeah.
The cool thing
It's got
is
a
the
great
models
pop on
have different styles. Like this particular guy here on the paint handle, other way, has a metal breastplate, whereas this particular guy, other way again, has a tabard on. So he's not wearing, so you have some variety there in what you're painting and doing with it. You're not bogged down like it's the same thing every guy in the unit.
Yep.
I'm sure some people are like, well, that slows down, assembly line, but it also keeps your sanity.
Variety. The spice of life. Yep. I think these stock sword swords are probably a little bit more uniform then.
Right.
It's really just their shields that are different.
Maybe it's because the Lannisters have so much more money. Everyone's outfitting themselves differently.
Right.
That's true.
Or perhaps they fight in more wars, so
Right.
they're always replacing people. Could be that. There we go. Okay. I've already got that out. Some brighter silver.
Any new good chat comments?
Oh, what do we got? Linda Parkin.
Linda Parkin.
Yeah, it says, fun to watch, Jeff. A window into your world of miniatures.
That is my mother-in-law.
Cool. Oh, Tim Colonna says, lies. I'm not sure what that's in regards to.
Tim probably doesn't know either.
Don Slater says he's been using the golden fluid acrylics for bulk colors, burnt sienna and raw umber, etc. To which Carl followed up with burnt sienna. Was he in Smokey and the Bandit? It's a different bird. But, I keep jumping back and forth here at the moment. I guess I'm forgetting to do what I should be doing. I'm going to paint on the one of the shields here. There's a lot of nice sort of metal sort of detail, metal molding. So I decided that I'm going to paint the boss in the center here with the pale blue. And once I finish painting the wolf sigil back in, I can just go and do a little bit of damage, a little bit of chipping, that sort of thing, to add some extra detail to it. There are two shields, kind of like that, and two of the wooden shields, kind of Viking style.
Just some great attention to detail, lots of different textures and things offered here. Very nice.
The chainmail on the models as well is going to dry brush up very nicely if you want to take that approach. Or it'll take washes really well as well here. So there we go. Excellent. So, I don't think did I tell you about the time when I went over to Northern Ireland?
When you went over to Beast of War, right?
Yeah, working with doing some filming with the Beast of War guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really excited because we were going to get to go and see some of the
Game of Thrones locations.
Game of Thrones filming locations. And so the first day we arrived we were going to get to go and see some of those. But my colleague that was flying with me actually ended up on a later flight. We didn't discover that until the day.
Oh.
So that flight was like 4 hours later. So rather than leave Belfast, we stayed in Belfast for 4 hours and missed getting to see any of the locations that day. But at the end of the week, it was like, okay, well, finally finished all the filming. Let's go and check out some areas. So right near Coleraine, where the Beast of War guys are based, there's a area where they filmed the Dragonstone sort of scenes. So we got to go and check that out and stand on the beach, and I've got a photo of me looking up to where they CGI in the castle. And then we're going on to the next location nearby, and Warren's car started overheating. So we didn't get to go any further. And so I've seen one location. I've been in Northern Ireland like 2 weeks in total. I got to see one place. It's like, that's just the worst. Eventually, we'll get to go back and check it out. But
You need to go to Iceland.
that would be really cool. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'll wait until all the White Walkers have gone south and then sort of slip in behind them. Be the way to do that. Have you been to Iceland, Leona?
No.
Oh, okay. Just the way you said that it was kind of like, hang on.
Right, like, hey.
I wish.
Yeah. It would be good. I think that's what we got. Oh. Pete Adams says, made it back. I didn't get a chance to plug the games and stuff. Our favorite game store.
Great. Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
No, he said I didn't.
Oh.
So he didn't get a chance to plug it. Don't worry, Jeff's been picking up your slack. I think these, what I'd like to do with these stock Swan Sword models is get like the unit of 12 all prepped and ready to go, and then just spend a Saturday painting them all and have a unit done at the end. So I think they'll paint up really nice in a batch painting
Sure.
kind of approach. That'd be really good for that. But, there we go. Have you got some events planned or have you got some ideas for events?
Yes.
Sort of percolating?
Yep. They'll be unleashing some cool game night kits and things for Song. So we'll be working towards that once it officially releases.
Okay.
I was working out some future calendars yesterday and slotted some stuff in for September,
Cool.
since that'll be right after the official launch.
Yeah.
Try to get a weekly game night going, and some painting days and lots of other
Yeah.
possibilities there.
Well, let us know when you're doing those painting days, and
Yeah, definitely.
let's come on down and do some painting there as well. Get the rest of my stocks painted. That would be good. not sure if I'm getting this right, but it's close enough. How are they looking?
Yeah, they're coming together, starting to build up with a little bit of red.
Right.
You'll have to make your choice of if you'd like just a pure gold armor, or if you'd like to, add some color to that armor.
Right.
They often show Lannisters with like a lacquered look to their armor over top of the gold.
Yep.
So.
And there's some of the images kind of look like the armor might be like a lacquered black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With some of the, so I guess red tabard, lacquered black armor with gold trim. There's lots of cool things that you could do. Oh, Brian Delaney asks, have either of you been able to play the game yet?
No, I'm hoping to play it tonight. I will have a copy kicking around when I get back from here today. So I'm actually hoping to maybe do some sort of introductory scenario this evening and see how it plays. I guess it depends on how hard it is to read the rulebook in a short amount of time.
I think it shouldn't be too tough. That's the rulebook.
Okay.
So
yeah, and hopefully there's some sort of like get started, like walk you through.
Right.
It's not just like text of rules, maybe this is the good first introductory scenario, maybe.
I think there is that.
Yeah. So to kind of learn as you go.
Yeah. Everything looks pretty sort of straightforward. The tactics board and the non-combatants is where the complexity is going to come in, I think.
And Paul, the owner of the shop, has played it as well, so he may also remember how to point us in the right direction.
Yep.
But if you want to see some more, and we'll also, in August, we do monthly demo games at the shop. We have 6 different demo tables. Song Ice and Fire will be one of the featured demo games throughout August.
Excellent.
So it will go up on there, beginning of the month.
Yeah. That's good.
Because we have a sample store copy coming any day now as well, so we can get the staff trained so they can, walk people through demos.
Right. Excellent. Looks good. Looks like they're called game modes, but I guess they're really the scenarios. So you've got the game modes are a Game of Thrones, a Clash of Kings, a Storm of Swords,
Weird.
a Feast for Crows,
I feel like I've heard those titles somewhere before.
and wait for it, the Winds of Winter. Oh.
But no Dance of Dragons. So we've skipped the Dance of Dragons and went straight on to a book that's not out yet. It hasn't been out for 6 years.
I guess that's it. I guess that's it. I'll have to ask Michael at Gen Con.
Yes. Maybe since the Targaryens aren't in play just yet, they've just skipped over the dragon themed.
Yeah. And that's going to be an impressive thing
That
as well when
is
they
going
get
to
to
be amazing.
the Targaryens and the Dothraki and
yes, and the
dragons.
the Unsullied and everything else. So that is very exciting. Almost as exciting. I'm very excited about the Wildlings and the Giants and all the things
all the free
possible there. The free folk, yes.
I think that'll be super cool. What's the name of the giant that?
One or something.
Right.
Or wait, it's like a yes.
Yeah, I can't remember.
How about that wiki, Leona?
Oh, Carl says game mode, book not written.
Right.
Peter M says, how does one such as myself subscribe to the magazine? Which magazine is that, Peter? Pardon?
Game Trade.
Oh, Game Trade magazine? I'm not sure. I have no idea.
You can buy it at your local store.
Oh, there we go. You can buy it at your local store. I suspect that there's the Game Trade Media website.
Yes.
Would be a good place to start.
Yeah, so you can subscribe online.
Yep.
You go to Game Trade Magazine if that's what you're looking for, and you can subscribe to the magazine online.
Okay. Cool.
Like it's not an online magazine. They'll send it to you, but you can subscribe.
I know what you mean. I think we got it.
Okay, sorry.
Cool.
The classic days of print.
Print. Hooray for print magazines.
Exactly.
I'm all about that. That's funny. Drew from One Inch Heroes suggests that one of the game modes could be called A Business of Ferrets. And Carl suggests A Congress of Baboons. That's obviously like set in Dawn. It seems like a southern thing.
Dorn will be an interesting faction as well.
Yep.
You know, just the sand snakes and all the cool stuff they can do there.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. I knew it was some one kind of one.
One weg. One wing.
One way, one dar one.
Ah, that one. And these giants with their crazy names. Excellent. Thank you. Very cool. One of the things that I was speculating on Tuesday was if CMON will have any sort of flexibility to create some units.
Sure.
So I think they're basically allowed to do any of the units that appear in the book, or the books at any stage. But
And does that include like prequel books and
I think
the
so.
Duncan Egg stories and
yeah, I think so. But yeah, one of my suggestions was maybe if they did something like the Stag Knights,
oh, very cool.
which
Yeah.
would be obviously a Baratheon thing that they don't appear in the book. What do you think would be a cool unit for let's say the Starks? Or any of the other factions. But something faction specific.
Right. With the Starks, you get a lot of cool, almost barbarian, Northerners. So
Yeah.
I think you could do some interesting things there, which they'll probably already, kind of already factoring into some of that.
Yeah. Well, you've got all the Umbers and the
The
stuff.
Umbers, right? The Great Johns and the Karstarks, and just some really interesting options there.
The Crannogmen. All that sort of stuff.
Then you have like the guys that Tyrion recruited, like the
Oh yeah, the hill tribes.
hill tribes
hill
and
folks
things. Yep.
Sort of thing. Oh yeah.
Then you can get into some interesting stuff once you start talking about like the Knights of the Vale and some of the other side groups.
Right. I think some interesting to see some Tyrell units.
Mm-hmm.
The Tyrell, that's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Yep. As soon as they said it, I immediately thought, like the Tyrell Corporation. Completely mixing my genres.
You're crossing the
streams.
streams.
Yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't be crossing the streams. But cool. Now, Drew, a Hodor of doors and holding. What does that mean? Oh, Don Slater says Bear Island. I'd like to see more stuff from Bear Island. There is a Mormont character in the Starks that I think came from through the.
Nice. That's exciting.
It's not. I don't think it might be Lyanna Mormont, but as George R. R. Martin imagined her,
Right.
or wrote about her, rather than the equally cool Lyanna Mormont from
the show.
From the show.
The one thing I've read some of the books, and
Yep.
my wife's very much, she's read the books, and the one thing about the characters in the book that always struck me is a little odd is that George R. R. Martin tended to portray them very young,
Right.
and I think that wouldn't have translated well, to the show, obviously.
All right. Yep. Agreed.
So sometimes when you're looking at the book option, you're thinking, oh, this person's like 12. Or
Right.
I think you're like,
Yep. So that's an interesting kind of flip for Lyanna Mormont.
Right.
Go from
Because she
being
was young in the show and all. And
Yep.
But it's one thing to have one character of that nature versus everyone's,
Everyone like that. Yeah.
super young.
I think like Robb Stark was like 14.
Right, and Jon was super young, and
Yep.
you know, it just, especially Sansa and Arya, and just, I don't know. Kind of glad they aged them slightly.
Right, yeah. Definitely good. Okay, I think we've got all that sorted.
So working up some of, I'm always going backwards on this camera, aren't I?
Yeah.
We've
been doing this for 6 months and I still
Right.
go the wrong direction.
Starting to get that red on the tabards built up to a different color here. Spin you around. You can see.
I'm going to try and see if I can
So you
actually
can
finish
see.
a...
There you go. You can actually see the definition now with the reds coming together there on the actual model.
Yeah, looking cool. And I think the black does a great job of sort of offsetting the
Yeah,
black boots and the-
black boots, black gloves, and things.
Yeah.
And then kind of get into some of the. You can start doing some of the leathers and.
Yeah. I didn't paint. I sort of pull this a little bit closer to me. But these faces are tiny. By tiny, I mean there's not a lot of them showing. You get to see the cheeks, the nose, and the mustache.
Because you know someone would say that is a miniature, Dave. That's why they're tiny.
No, this is true. I think that's another thing is that they have very much a true scale feel
Sure.
rather than that heroic.
That heroic GW 2032, you know,
Yeah.
like getting up there in much bigger and bigger scale. But at the same time, they're not overly small. Like I don't feel
not at all.
like a Lord of the Rings style model that feels kind of little when you're painting it almost because
Yeah.
it's a really true 25.
Yeah.
These feel a little, you know, they still have some heft to them.
For sure. Maybe this guy doesn't have a mustache. Just an open mouth yelling. There we go. That'll do. And I will paint his base black for the moment. Haven't really decided what I want to do with the bases.
Sure.
I think coming back to them afterwards is going to be the way to go.
Yeah, that's something you can almost batch, you know, once you
Yep.
kind of get something worked out, come through in mass.
I think probably some of the GW textured paints would be very helpful in that. Have you used a lot of those?
I've used some of the snow.
Okay.
I'm a very traditional sand and little bits of stone and
Right.
things kind of guy. Or some cool, you know, resin bases on certain things.
Right.
Our friend Jeff at Dragon Forge and other places who make great resin bases.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pop this guy on the spinner. Oh. Keep Leona running around. That's fine. Nope. Sorry. Oh no, I've missed some of the chat. Let's go back a touch. Brian Delaney said no Blade Runners here. Drew from One Inch Heroes said speak for yourself, replicant. Mag? Yeah, that's who you're thinking. Pardon? Oh. Woohoo! There we go. What do you think? He looks pretty good. It's that shiny helmet that works. So, yep, apparently, Brian Delaney says Sam fielded the Mormont lady in a unit of Stark Sworn Swords last night. The She-Bear. Oh, Mike Gilkinson.
Mike Gilkinson. Hi, Mike.
Gilkinson. Hey, Mike. Welcome. You have about 10 minutes left with us. Don't worry, Jeff's going to have these two guys finished in 10 minutes. Yeah?
You know, doing some detail work on him now. Focus on some options there.
Yep. Yeah, I think I can get this guy done. Yeah, I'm looking forward to painting the banner bearers as well.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff we can definitely do with those.
Such an important part of the lore, the bannermen
The Bannerman, yes.
idea. So much is based on the houses and the oaths sworn.
Keep looking at
we
that
go.
like it's a glass of like pink lemonade or something like that. Should I put my
Don't be drinking
thing
that.
in there?
Don't be drinking it. Will not go down well.
I have to say, I don't think I've ever drank paint water.
Really?
I've been pretty good about keeping, things
Separate.
separate.
But you've washed your brush out in a drink. No?
They're on complete opposite sides of my paint table.
Well, that's what I do now. I do that. Do that now. But previously, no. I think I've managed to wash my brush out in my coffee several times.
Do you keep multiple cups?
I don't.
I do. I keep a metallic one and a non-metallic one.
Right. I have a mason jar that basically, when the water gets really low, that's when I change it.
Uh-huh.
So that's more from my laziness rather than any other belief. But-
Right.
So I certainly understand the idea of having the separate metallics and regular paints. I'm just too lazy. There we go. Yeah, these helmets and pauldrons are really nice. Nice and simple, but there's some great shiny silver on them. There we go. Oh, hey Mike, yes, that is Jeff. That is the Jeff.
Yes.
So, there we go. How's it looking?
Yeah, he's coming together pretty well.
Almost there.
Yeah.
You gonna focus on that one guy for the last few minutes?
Yeah, just to try to add,
Came added in there.
highlight that, and then throw him out there.
Excellent. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this guy finished. I'll come close. There we go. So with these, the sword blades here, I'm just painting the top edge in the bright silver, and the lower edge will be reflecting the ground. So I could probably go back in with some browns or some grays
Sure.
once I know what color I'm doing my bases.
Hit some simple dawn stone over the black, and then throw a little
Yeah,
Nuln oil over that to cover it back in.
cool. There we
So
go.
it doesn't shine too brightly. So,
There we go. So I'll ask Brian while he's watching, Brian Delaney, who played a game last night apparently. How did the Lannisters go for you? So I'm guessing if Sam was taking Lady Mormont. How were the Lannisters? Did you play them sneakily? Deviously? I think the way that the sort of the tactics board and the tactics cards work for each faction is going to be very interesting.
yeah, that's one of the aspects of the game that is very exciting to me.
Yeah.
Just seeing how that all plays out. I think there's some really cool stuff there. and how you use these characters that, like we talked about, they wouldn't necessarily be on the battlefield, but you know, you'll see them in action there.
We have 5 minutes to go.
5 minutes.
I knew that I was going to be not looking up at the correct time, so they're going to have to come in and point it out to me. So unprofessional in my, well, of me. They're going to totally professional. You laugh now, but there we go. Highlight these brown leather straps.
Definitely didn't get to do his face well, because I just threw some wash on him to.
Oh, so it's going to be a little bit tough.
Yeah.
You don't have to rush it. Only 5 minutes to go, though, Jeff. Only 5. You can do it. There we go.
I think I will paint the base brown.
Oh, okay.
For a quick
That's cool.
look here. So we can throw them on the spinner.
Excellent. I usually just go through and clean up. Anything I paint here, I clean up the bases with the black.
Right.
It's because usually we're painting minis from board games and that kind of thing. What are you
Handle
doing?
falling apart here. Trying to get him out of the paint handle.
All right. Dropping him all over the place. There we go. A little bit.
The bases are slightly textured too, so you could obviously do a little dry brush,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
on them. And I know some people were like, well, what's with the colored plastic? But, you know, there's always going to be people who will view this more as a board game style miniature game.
Yeah.
So I think that was the intent there to, you know, keep it easy for people to say, all right, I have my red guys, you have your blue guys, and
Let's go at it.
yep.
Yeah. I think the sort of the interesting part is going to be to see the sort of the ongoing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Put them out there. The ongoing colors of that
Sure.
they choose for the plastics.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Actually, we should get him fighting this guy. Or yeah. So I think they'll look pretty good. Applause from the owner.
They were
Hooray. Brian says, yes, sir, I won 15-12.
All right, good. Go Lannisters.
He says, once you realize that you can't use them as a beat stick army, and they do require you to be devious and throw down a lot of panic tests and modifiers, they do much better. And Mike Gilkison says, I hear the Lannisters hold up well against Dragonfire. I'm not so sure.
We do know they always pay their debts. So.
Yeah, this is true. If they're still alive.
Yeah, well.
If they've survived the
that.
Dragonfire.
Well, that was very cool. Thank you, Dave, for having me on to paint some Song of Ice Fire. I've been very excited about this game, so it's nice to actually see the
Yep.
models and get some time to work on them. And
It is great to see them all up close and get stuck in.
yeah, it's been one of the highly anticipated things
Cool.
so
So
for this year.
you were saying that at Games and Stuff,
Yep.
you will have the
We'll have the full Kickstarter edition. We were a major backer for the Kickstarter. So if you come in right now, you can pre-order it for $150. You will get the Kickstarter edition, like we showed
Right.
here, that big box with the Iron Throne and all the Kickstarter exclusives, as well as the core game. You will have all that in hand when it arrives in the next couple weeks.
Cool. So for folks who aren't near Games and Stuff, head to your local store, ask the folks there
Right.
if they pledge for the Kickstarter. If not, put in your pre-orders. Or if they did, put in your pre-orders now. If they didn't, put in some pre-orders for August 31st.
First for the main release, yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be very exciting to see how they roll it out as well.
I agree. I
There'll be
think
a
that's
lot
going
of-
to be very cool. What one thing I didn't see? Did you see a standard play size? Is it on like a 3x3, 4x4?
I think it's a 4x4.
4x4?
Yeah, on
Okay.
a 4x4. Something I was just looking at there when we were talking about game modes. was Army Construction. A small game is 30 points.
Okay.
A medium game is 40 points, and a large game is 50 points.
Okay. Excellent.
So there's not a lot of, even that small to large jump is only 66%
Sure.
increase. It's not a doubling. So it's not a game that's really designed for large sweeping battles.
Yet. Right. I'm
yeah.
sure it'll
Yeah.
happen and it'll evolve. People always love their big games. So
Oh, for sure,
I'm
yeah.
sure we'll see people fielding the Siege of Dragonstone and build crazy terrain and everything else.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I
It'd be
agree.
awesome to see that sort of stuff. I love it when I see people do like Minas Tirith or the Battle of Pelennor
Absolutely,
Fields and
right.
that sort of stuff. So I think that definitely fits in with this.
Definitely.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us today. Thanks very much, Jeff.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
You're
Hope to
welcome.
see you again soon. Thanks for watching.
Come along and join us on our Facebook group, Painting Happy Little Minis. Now look at that, bright silver.
See, that's what happens when you lick your brush.
Yeah.
We
It
do it.
does.
What are you going to do?
So yeah, join our Facebook group. So just go and look for Painting Happy Little Minis. We will add you there. Show us the happy little minis that you've been painting. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them.
Yeah, we're happy to. I'm on there. Dave, Drew, all the folks who've been on here. We love to see what people are working on and chime in.
So yeah, definitely do that. And also head to your local gaming store. Join the
Yes.
community. Sit down, do some painting, play some games.
Play some games, meet some folks, and have a good time.
Yeah, definitely. All good. So I think that's pretty much it for today. Thanks very much. I've been
Thanks.
Dave.
I'm Jeff.
We'll see you later.
See ya.
Guys, we're super excited to share that our new book, The Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games, is now available.
We love tabletop gaming as much as you do, and we're so thrilled to share the finished book with the community. This book covers the history of the tabletop industry, from classic board games like Monopoly to collectible card games like Magic, and of course RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons.
The book also highlights some of the top talent in the industry, featuring interviews with Peter Atkinson, Matthew Mercer, Larry Elmore, and many more. Plus, we chatted with collectors from all walks of life who shared their own knowledge and insight about tabletop collecting.
We also discuss everything from the impact of crowdfunding on the current state of the industry, as well as take a look at all sorts of ways to preserve your collection for years to come. This book provides a perfect snapshot of the tabletop industry at large and shows what makes this hobby so great.
You can head into your local game store or comic shop right now and pick up your copy of the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games. If they don't have it in stock, you can order your copy through previews, through Game Trade Magazine, or through gemstonepub.com.
Thanks for watching Painting Happy Little Minis. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.